Hello everyone, welcome back to the Igniting Curiosity in Life Science. So today we will move on to the another very important component, that is the chloroplast. Okay, as you know that chloroplast mainly found in the green plants only. Okay, this is not present in the animal cell, only these chloroplasts are present in the plant cell. So have you ever wondered why plants capture energy and how plants capture sunlight and turn it into their own food? Okay, that is what the photosynthesis process. So the secret lies in tiny green powerhouses called the chloroplast. Okay, chloroplasts mainly contain what the green pigment, that is the chlorophyll. Okay, along with the special enzymes and molecules that power the photosynthesis. Okay, and the main process that creates sugar, okay, the main energy source for plants and indirectly for all the lives on the earth. Okay, and that is what a chloroplast will study, the structure of a chloroplast. Okay, that is how the chloroplast that is it capturing the energy, that is light energy. And here in this picture you can see that how the chloroplasts means the chloroplasts are also can able to move. Okay, we'll see what is the main reason for that. Okay, so this is what the main structure of a chloroplast. So in that first we'll study what the shape and size of the chloroplast. So chloroplasts are oval and disc shaped, or it is a lens shaped in structure. So you can see that this is oval shaped. Okay, it is also called as what the disc shaped, or even it is also called as what the lens shaped organelle. Okay, what is the main size of the chloroplast? They mainly measures of about how much 3 to 6 micrometer in diameter. Okay, this is the main size of the chloroplast, and mainly these found in almost all leafy mesophyll cells of the green plants and even in the algae, right? And next we'll move on to the chloroplast envelope. Okay, as you can see that the chloroplasts are also double membrane in their structure. Okay, they are having the two membranes. The outer membrane, it is smooth. Okay, outer membrane it is smooth in nature. Okay, and these mainly permeable to small molecules and the ions, whereas in case of the inner membrane they are less permeable and mainly contains what the transport proteins, right? And the space between them, okay, the outer membrane and the inner, is called as what the intermembrane space. So here you can see that the intermembrane space, how it is formed, the space between the outer membrane and the inner membrane. Okay, that space we can call it as what the inner membrane space. Okay, next we'll move on to the stroma. So what is stroma? The stroma is the fluid, okay, mainly filled with the filled matrix inside the chloroplast. Okay, what it contains? Mainly the chloroplast with the double stranded DNA, double stranded as well as circular DNA. Okay, and the ribosome. Okay, ribosome of a 70S type. Okay, we'll discuss in later classes what are the main types of the ribosomes and all. Okay, 70S type of a ribosomes, and the enzymes for the Calvin cycle, as well as the starch grains and the lipid droplets. Okay, even the size, this is what the mainly the light reaction. Okay, light independent reaction, that is what the dark reaction mainly occurs. So you can have the question like where the dark reaction occur in the chloroplast. So the answer is the stroma. In the stroma only the dark reaction, or it is also called as what the light independent reaction, right? Next we'll move on to the thylakoids. So what are thylakoids? The thylakoids are a stroma encloses a network of a flattened membrane bound sacs called the thylakoids. Okay, how it looks like? It looks like a stack of coins, right? And these thylakoids contain chlorophyll and other pigments, okay, that capture what the sunlight. So here you can think that what is the main function of this? It can contain the chlorophyll and other pigments. Okay, what is the main function of that? That only capture the sunlight. Okay, and these are the light dependent reactions or of the photosynthesis, mainly occurs in the thylakoids. So this is what the light reaction. Okay, we'll discuss in the future classes what are main these things. Okay, light and the dark reactions. So light reaction mainly occurs in the thylakoids and dark reaction mainly occurs in the stroma, right? Next we'll move on to the grana or the granum. So what is granum? So thylakoids are often stacked in the columns. So you can see that these are stacked in a columns, right? These we can call it as what? The grana. Granum singular, grana is the plural, right? These stacks increase the surface area for the light absorption. Okay, what it will do? It will increases the surface area for the light absorption, right? The grana are connected by stroma lamellae. Okay, that is what the unstacked thylakoid membrane, right? Next we'll move on to the thylakoid membrane. So what is thylakoid membrane? The thylakoid membrane holds the photosynthetic pigments, electron transport chain and even the ATP synthase enzyme. So what the thylakoid membrane mainly holds? Photosynthetic pigments, okay, electron transport chain, that is what the ETC, and the ATP synthase enzyme. Okay, as I said, the enzymes are required for this, right? Means mainly what the ATP synthase enzyme. These are mainly found in the thylakoid membrane, right? It's where light energy is mainly converted into chemical energy. That is what the end products are the ATP, okay, and the NADPH. ATP plus NADPH. Okay, these are mainly the light energy is converted into the chemical energy in the form of ATP and the NADPH, right? And the next is the thylakoid, the lumen. So thylakoid lumen or the thylakoid space. So what is it? The inner space of a thylakoid sac is called the thylakoid lumen. The inner membrane of the thylakoid sac is called what? The thylakoid lumen. It plays a key role in the proton gradient during the ATP synthesis. Okay, what is the main function of that? Role in the proton gradient during the ATP synthesis, right? Then DNA and the ribosomes. As I said, it is also having the chloroplast DNA and ribosome, right? So chloroplasts have their own DNA, double-stranded and circular DNA, and the ribosomes similar to the bacteria. So this allows them to synthesize some of their own proteins, right? This is what all about the main structure of the chloroplast. Okay. Next we'll move on to the main functions of the chloroplast. So what are the main functions of the chloroplast? The first thing, as we know, that it is mainly involved in the photosynthesis. Okay, that is what the photosynthesis. So mainly this chloroplast mainly involved in the photosynthesis process. Okay, photosynthesis process, what it will capture the light energy from the sun and convert it into the chemical energy. Okay, and the reaction, it takes place how? 6 molecules of the carbon dioxide and 6 molecules of water plus light energy. Okay, or after reaction what happens? We will get the finally glucose and the 6 molecules of the oxygen. Okay, and light absorption. So what in that case we can see that the absorption of the light. Okay, photosynthesis as well as in the light absorption, chlorophyll pigments in the chloroplast absorb blue and red wavelengths of the light. Okay, and reflect what? The green color. Okay, it will absorb blue and red light from the electromagnetic spectrum. You know that. Okay, wavelengths, different wavelengths, some colors are situated. Okay, mainly these green plants absorb blue and the red wavelengths of the light, and it will reflect over the green. Okay, That's why they appear as a, means plants appear as a green in color, right? The absorbed light drives the reactions of the photosynthesis. So that absorbed green light mainly helpful for the reactions of the photosynthesis, right? Next is the conversion of energy. So in the thylakoid membranes, okay, light energy is mainly transformed into ATP, that is the energy molecule, and NADPH, okay, during the light dependent reaction, that is what the light reaction, okay. These energy carriers fuel the synthesis of the sugars in the stroma, right? These light energy, okay, that is what the ATP and the NADPH, they fuel, okay, they act as a fuel for the synthesis of sugars in the stroma of the chloroplast, right? Next is what the synthesis of the organic molecules. So in the stroma, what happens through the Calvin cycle, carbon dioxide is mainly fixed into the glucose and other carbohydrates, which serves as the food for the plants and even energy for the other organisms, right? Next is what the oxygen production. As I said, oxygen is also liberated after the photosynthesis, okay, which is released by a byproduct of a water splitting, right? And this oxygen is mainly helpful for all the aerobic lives on the earth, okay. And next is the energy storage, means chloroplasts, it store temporary energy in the form of a starch, right, and can convert it back into the glucose when it is needed, right. Next is the synthesis of fatty acids and the amino acids. So chloroplasts play a secondary role in the biosynthesis, producing some of the fatty acids, lipids and amino acids, okay, which are required by the plant cells, right. Next is the self-replication. As we see that chloroplasts also contain their own DNA and the ribosomes, okay, these allowing them to replicate themselves and produce some of their own proteins, making them semi-autonomous organelles, okay, like that of the body cells or the other cells on the in our body, okay. These chloroplasts are also able to divide, okay. And next is the interaction with other organelles. So chloroplasts work closely with the mitochondria to balance the cell's energy needs, okay. One produces glucose and other releases what the energy from it, okay. So this is what all about the today's class, okay. So next we'll move on to what the some MCQs related to this unit, okay. So first question is, which pigment is mainly responsible for the green color of the chloroplast? What is the answer? Carotene, xanthophyll, chlorophyll and the anthocyanin as chlorophyll, because chloroplasts contain chlorophyll, right, the green pigment that absorb light energy for the photosynthesis, okay. And the next question is, so the double membrane of a chloroplast encloses a space known as the, yes, intermembrane space, okay. That is, the chloroplast envelope has mainly two membranes, okay. These are separated by a narrow intermembrane space. And next question, the flattened interconnected sacs, okay, inside the chloroplast are called the what? Grana or thylakoids? Yes, thylakoids, right. Thylakoids are the flattened sacs that form what the internal membrane system of the chloroplast, okay. And next question, a stack of thylakoids is known as what? The grana, stroma, plastid and chromoplast. Which is the answer? Grana, yes. Each granum or grana is a stack of thylakoids, okay, similar to a stack of a what? Coins, right. And next, the fluid surrounding the thylakoids inside the chloroplast is the cytosol, stroma, matrix and the plasma. Which is the answer? Stroma. Yes, the stroma is the main fluid part of the chloroplast, okay, that mainly contains what? The DNA, ribosomes and the main enzymes, right. And next is the chloroplasts, which convert light energy into chemical energy during respiration, photosynthesis, fermentation and glycolysis. During where? Photosynthesis, right? The main function of the chloroplast is to carry out the photosynthesis. Okay, they are producing what? Sugar molecules from the light. Okay. And next is the, okay, which of the following is not a part of a chloroplast? Which one? Stroma, thylakoid, cristae, granum. Cristae. So where it is found? Mainly in the mitochondria, right? So in the mitochondria, cristae are present, not in the chloroplast. And the next question, the space organization of a chloroplast mainly is divided into how many compartments? How many compartments? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many? 3. Okay. Chloroplast spaces, okay, include the intermembrane space, stroma and thylakoid space, right? The answer is 3. And the chloroplasts can change their shape and move within the cell because of ribosomes, cytoskeleton, cell wall and the mitochondria. Yes, the answer is the cytoskeleton. So, because of the the cytoskeleton only, the chloroplasts which can move along the cytoskeletal tracks, okay, which help them reposition and to divide, okay. And next is the chloroplasts, amyloplasts and chromoplasts are the types of vacuoles, lysosomes, plastids and the ribosomes. What is the answer? Plastids. Yes, all these are mainly plastids, a group of plant organelles with the specialized functions. Okay, these are all what the plastids. Okay, and next is which of the following is true about the chloroplast DNA? So absent in the chloroplast, double stranded and circular, linear and single stranded, found only in the nucleus. What is the answer? Yes, double stranded and the circular. Why? Because chloroplasts have their own circular DNA, double stranded DNA, right? They supporting their semi-autonomous the nature. Okay, that is the correct answer, double stranded DNA and circular. Okay, and next is chloroplasts are most similar to which organelle in terms of energy conversion? Which organelle? Ribosome, mitochondria, nucleus and the Golgi apparatus. Which one? Yes, mitochondria, because both mitochondria and the chloroplast convert energy, right? One from the food and other from the sunlight. That's it. Okay. Next question is, okay. So this is what all about the today's class. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to share with your friends. Please like, share and subscribe the channel, The Igniting Curiosity in Life Science. So this is Savita